Hi everybody, it's so good to have you here on the farm with us today. I'm sitting by the brooder because we are again incubating quail eggs, which inspired me to be a little bit honest with y'all because truthfully, we dove into the whole incubating eggs without doing a lot of research because I thought, I've incubated and hatched out tons of batches of chicks, and so what could be so different about incubating and hatching out quail eggs? Well, apparently a lot. So this journey started when we let a friend of ours have a dozen of our quail eggs that were fertilized and ready to be incubated, and so we gave him a whole dozen and one hatched. And truthfully, you know, you have the tendency to think, maybe it was their fault and they made some kind of mistake and they did it wrong, so that's why nothing hatched. Well, thank goodness I decided that I should check and do a little bit of research first because apparently the keeping of quail eggs before you incubate them is totally different than chicken eggs. So this was surprise number one. Surprise number one is that you cannot just put your quail eggs in an egg carton and leave them on your counter for 4 to 5 days while you collect all those eggs and then stick them in your incubator. No, you have to put them in a refrigerator. Not your normal refrigerator that's like probably about 30, 40 degrees, but either a refrigerator that is kept at about 50 degrees. I now see that a lot of people keep them in a cooler with just a little bit of an ice pack in there to keep them cooler. I have read that this is because they are so small, they start to develop very quickly and very easily. So on your counter, in even room temperature, they will begin to develop even before you put them into the incubator, which means all of your baby chicks will be growing at different rates. So in order to stall that development process, you have to put them into a colder environment so as to not start the development process. So we, shocker, if you haven't seen my husband's YouTube channel, it's all about plants. The more you grow, go check it out. So shocker, we have a seed refrigerator in our shop, and so that was the perfect temperature to also just pop in those quail eggs until they were ready to put into the incubator. So the incubator that I am next to has jumbo Coturnix quail eggs that we ordered from Southwest Game Birds. Guys, if you have not checked them out and you are interested in quail, you should check them out because I have never seen such impressive and meticulous packaging. This is not obviously the first time I have incubated quail. Again, if you've been paying attention to my Instagram or any of those other things like Facebook, then you've already seen that we've now incubated quail. I think probably this is the 4th round. And so this is all the information that I've learned from the last few times that I've incubated quail. So the other most interesting thing happened hatch day. So in comparison to chicks, when they're hatching out of their eggs, this is how I see them. They're like peck, 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 little tiny cracks on the egg, and then they're like, oh, I think I'll take a nap for like 5 hours and then I might get out of my egg. It's a big ordeal. But quail, guys, are totally different. So they are more like this. There is almost never in our experience that stressful waiting period where you're not sure how it's gonna go and whether or not this chick is gonna get out. And guys, I don't know if you've ever seen a quail egg, but I like to call them speckled gumballs. Okay, so a live creature comes out of an egg this size. Okay, they're tiny. And I still can't get over it to this moment. When they hatch, it's like watching fluffy bugs run around the incubator. It's crazy. But even more than that is watching them hatch out, because They literally just like make a tiny little, the little pip, they make a pip in that egg, and then they're like, boom, out of there. There's no in between. Like they don't, the ones I have watched don't really do the whole making a circle all the way around the egg, super slowly pushing the end off. No, they're just like, boom, okay, I'm out of here. I'm done with this. Let's get on with life. They're so strong, and these eggs are really like thick shelled and stuff. And so anyway, it was just crazy. I just watched it over and over and over again. The other crazy part is basically our experience with chicken eggs is that they come out of they all come out of their shells, or they don't, in about 24 hours. If they're not out by then, they're probably not going to. And even worse than that, if they don't by then successfully, they're probably not going to make it. That's just what I've noticed. And so, but with quail eggs, guys, and I don't know if this is because I put them in the fridge and keep them cool, that they don't all develop at the same amount of time. But we have quail hatch 3 days after the first one. Every time we've done it. They hatch forever, which I will admit is kind of funny because if you can't tell, we have this incubator in our bedroom. And if you've ever hatched anything out, you know that when they hatch out, they make a lot of cheeping noises. Well, that doesn't keep me awake at night, which is their favorite time to hatch out. But my poor husband, it wakes him up when they start cheeping, and especially if they're at all lonely, like if they're the first one or the last few that are in there and we've taken the rest out, they're noisy. And my lucky husband wakes up every single time they start making a chirping, fussing fit. So by day 3, when they're still hatching out and I haven't taken this incubator out of here and cleaned it and given up, he's done. He's done. So he's really excited that I'm doing it again, but I apparently have no self-control. So here we are. So that is the most surprising thing is too, there's no stress to hatching day for me and in our experience. They just hatch out, they run around, they're strong little things, and that is done. The other thing is about candling. You can't really candle them. Now, I have watched YouTube videos where they make these contraptions that you can candle them because it'll hold the egg and then it'll focus the light in on the egg. Couple reasons why I don't even try. Number one, it's so tiny. I mean, like, this is a tiny egg, guys. And then the other reason is that all the spots on this egg make it difficult to see really well what's going on. And so I don't even try. I don't candle them. And that's kind of something that I do almost like obsessively with my chickens, just because I want to see how they're doing. I want to check on them. I want to make sure everything's going okay. And it's good for me to have a hatching experience where I don't even candle eggs. It's just very low maintenance in the incubator. Now, that being said, once they hatch, quail are super tiny. And something I wasn't expecting is how extremely fragile they are. I swear they can die for no reason. Chickens, basically, if they make it out of this incubator and they make it through the first 48 hours, you're good. You have as many chickens. You may now count your chickens, right? You may now count them. You know how many you have. You're good. But with quail, guys, if they get sick or something like that, by the time you notice, you're going to have 5 dead quail. Or we had one round where our water leaked. And so we came in the morning and like 3 of them were drenched because they're so little they didn't get away from that puddle of water because it was under the light and they wanted to stay warm. And they didn't make it. I mean, like literally they got wet. They were cold, I'm sure, during the night. Didn't make it. Super fragile. A chick would have just moved. And again, I'm sure there are some people that get really good at this, and the hatch rate is great. The hatch day is super easy. Incubating them's easy, but keeping them alive after that is rough. You have to grind up their food. They're so tiny. They can't even eat the crumbles. I want to end this on a good note. I don't want you to think that incubating quail and hatching out quail is just a lost cause. It's not. The ones that make it, and when you figure it out, they're adorable. I've already told you how much I love adult quail. The other crazy part is in 7 weeks after they hatch, they're grown. After they hatch, unlike baby chicks, when you stick your hand into that incubator, what do chicks do? Quail, on the other hand, have the natural instinct to come to you when you stick your hand into the incubator. And so one of our favorite parts about incubating quail is that Abby loves to get into the brooder. And if you've seen that in one of our other videos, it's just the cutest thing. Because they literally will run over to your hand. They'll crawl into your hand. They want to be held. They think you're mom. And so they really do, they're really fun when they're little. Even though they're super fragile, they're really fun. And I would not quit doing it. I'm just trying to help anyone out that isn't expecting these things, just like I wasn't. I was surprised by all of it. If you found this video helpful, please like it. Subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot of things coming up. We've got some new animals on the farm that we're going to be introducing. And I've got some other informational videos that I'm just can't wait to put out. It's just not quite time. I'm not quite ready. So in the weeks to come, there's some really great things coming. So go ahead and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so that you'll be notified next time we have a video. And I can't wait to see you back on the farm again. Bye, guys.